Alright guys, welcome to the video. Are you looking to understand how much it costs to sell on Amazon in 2021? You don't want any bullshit, you want the truth, you really want to know how much it costs. You might hear from other people on YouTube that you can start Amazon for $1,000, for $500. I'm going to break it down today. What are the most common costs that you're gonna have to pay to get started in 2021? I'm going to go through a hypothetical situation. So let's imagine we're selling a dog bowl, and we've had this dog bowl manufactured in China, and it's costing us $4. And that's $4 to get it manufactured, get all the packaging made, get it basically sent from China, pay all of your taxes, and have it arrive in the Amazon warehouse. That costs us $4 per unit. We're going to sell this dog bowl for $24.99. It's quite a nice dog bowl. In our first order, we're going to place an order for 750 units. So this works out at roughly 2.5 months of stock. Now you might be asking, why do I need 2.5 months worth of stock? It's only my first order. Well, one of the big issues that people have is they only order enough stock to maybe last a month, and then they wait a few weeks after it starts selling and they think, oh, I need to order more stock. So 3 weeks has gone by and then they've almost run out of stock, and then it takes them 2 months to get the new stock in because it's a month to manufacture the product and it's a month to ship it from China all the way to Amazon. So what that means is you sell all your first order out really well, really happy, and then after that you're out of stock for 6 weeks, 2 months, sometimes even more. So all that money and all that effort that you made to get the product over there and get it selling kind of gone to waste. You gain a lot of organic rank, which is what you want to do with a product launch. But in the end, you kind of end up wasting it if you don't have enough stock. So you need to make sure you're ordering at least 2.5 months worth of stock. That brings your first order cost into around $3,000 for this particular dog bowl at $4 landed.
1001, 1002.
Oh, sorry. Sorry guys. Whilst you're here, I just wanted to ask, I know it's a bit cheesy, could you like and subscribe? We're trying to build 1,000 subscribers. It's pretty difficult. Everyone that subscribes gives us a big boost in motivation to try and keep making videos. So we'd really appreciate it. Cheers.
But your second order cost of $3,000. So you might be saying, why is the second order cost involved in the startup cost? Surely I have enough money from my first order to place that second order if I've sold all of those units. Well, you would be kind of correct sometimes. Most of the time with Amazon, you sell your first order, but you don't get the money back in time to place your second order. So if we're working on this basis of a 2-month lead time, so that means your product taking 2 months to get from your manufacturer in China, get made, shipped over. What that means is you have to be placing the second order almost 2 weeks after you launch the first product. Because it takes so long to manufacture and get it to China, you need to be placing that second order as soon as you know that the product is selling well. So what this means is that you need that initial $3,000, but then you need another $3,000 for the second order. And you probably won't have got much money back from your first order, even if it's been selling really well, because it's more than likely that your ACOS is quite high with your PPC, but also that Amazon just doesn't pay you straight away. You have to wait 2 weeks to get that money back from Amazon. So there's a delay in getting the money back, which can quite often lead to people not having any money if they've only budgeted in enough money for their first order. So always remember you need enough money for your first order and your second order. Your PPC cost, now this can vary. I put this at around 15%. So this would be 15% of your total revenue for your first order. It can be less. Sometimes it's more. It kind of depends on the niche, how competitive it is, how well your product's sold. Sometimes your product just absolutely flies off the shelves and you don't need much PPC. But we like to sort of factor in around 15% just to be on the safe side. Now I'm going to look at some miscellaneous costs. Product photos. Now this is something that we see all the time on Facebook. Should I pay for a professional photographer? Yes, you should. You should always pay a professional photographer to do your product photos. Now, you might be thinking $750, that's a lot of money on my first product, but you have to understand that your product photos are the single most important thing after your actual product. If your product photos are not absolutely incredible and they're not a 10 out of 10, then you're not going to stand a good chance of competing against the people that you're trying to beat. Don't try and skimp and save on this because it's super, super important. Then you've got your logo, pretty self-explanatory. You can pay less, you can pay more. Some people pay thousands for a logo. For a first product, we generally go somewhere in the middle, and we'd be looking to pay around $50 for our logo. And you've got graphic design. You might forget that, you need to build the listing. You have your product photos, but you need infographic. If you have brand registry, you need somebody to build out your EBC. It's better to pay a professional graphic designer to do this. Now, your Amazon account comes in at about $35 per month. You don't have to pay this from the very beginning of your journey, but obviously once you start selling on Amazon, this is what you're going to have to pay. Helium 10. Now, this is a software that is essentially an all-in-one tool. It allows you to do keyword research. It allows you to build your listings, to do product research. It's an incredible tool, and you might be saying it's not absolutely essential, but I would disagree. I don't think you can give yourself the best shot at Amazon if you're not using a tool like Helium 10. There are alternatives such as Jungle Scout. We use Helium 10, and we've used it ever since we started on Amazon, and it's something that we use every single day, and that we just couldn't go without. You get a ton of value for $97, even though it does seem quite expensive to some beginners. If you're interested in Helium 10 and you don't already have an account, we can get you 50% off your first month. Just take a look in the description, or I'm going to add like a little floaty thing here that has text. So you just put that code in, and it will give you 50% off your first month, or I think 10% off your lifetime subscription if you think you're going to use it for the rest of your life. Barcodes, $120. Again, this is something that you need to have done. You need to do it properly. You don't want to run the risk of getting barcodes that have been used before and getting your Amazon listing taken down. So this is a cost that sometimes people forget about. Your company setup. Now, this can vary quite a lot depending on where you are. In the UK, it's actually quite cheap. You can set up a limited company in the UK for around £12. In the US, I think it varies from between about $20 to $50 up to $500. It depends on the state. I think Delaware is actually one of the best states to set up an LLC company, but don't quote me on that because we don't have our company in the US. And then you got your product samples. You need to be ordering 5, 6, even more sometimes samples. Some of the samples that you receive will be really poor. Your supplier that you've ordered them from, their communication might end up being really bad. So you're going to find yourself ordering multiple samples, and a sample can cost anywhere between $50 to $100 depending on the product. Most of this cost is in the air shipping. They have to pay to ship it express from China or wherever to your door, but you're gonna do at least 4 or 5 of these, and the cost does add up. If you eventually go on and place a bulk order with one of these suppliers, they will usually refund you the cost of the sample, and you should try and negotiate that when you first start speaking to them. And you've got an accountant. I've put that this is optional. You don't need this from the very beginning. If you're taking this business seriously and trying to build a real business, we would recommend that you do this from the beginning. You need to get your taxes and everything in order. You might be thinking you can't get an accountant for $70 where you live. Maybe that's true. This is about what we pay, so this is what I put for a rough price. Trademark. Again, this is optional. You don't need a trademark to start on Amazon. And you also can get a trademark for cheaper than $700. This is the price we paid for our trademark in the US. We paid a company to set it all up, to do absolutely everything for us. You can go down the road of doing it yourself. I believe in Europe, there's actually kind of like a cheap shortcut if you get your trademark through Germany. Perhaps we can do another video on that another time. And I know in the UK, you can actually set up a trademark yourself, and I think it costs about £100. But what you're going to be looking at in the US for somebody to do your trademark is around $700 to $1,000. Your trademark, as I said, it's not essential, but what it does allow you is to have brand registry, which comes with a lot of benefits. And this is going to help with your product launches. You can have extended brand content. You can have product videos. You can have video ads. You get a big advantage over people that don't have trademarks and brand registry. So it's something that you really should be getting done. Then coming in last, we've got Xero. Nothing too fancy. It's a software that we use to basically send everything over to our accountant. They can log in there and check all of our books. They can check the invoices from Amazon, from our suppliers. And it comes in about $20 a month in the UK. I think it might be a little bit more expensive in the US, and perhaps there's another software that I've not used because it's in the US, but This is kind of roughly what you're going to pay for a software of that type to manage all your invoices and everything from Amazon, so that your accountant doesn't have too tough of a job getting everything done. So now let's take a look at what all this adds up to, because unless you're a math whiz, you're probably struggling to follow it. Total cost, $9,417 to get started on Amazon FBA in 2021. So is that what you're expecting? Is it more? Is it less? Is it about right? Let me know in the comments below. This for me is an honest representation of what it costs to start with a product that you would be selling for around $24.99. And yeah, I wanted to give you a kind of honest overview of what it costs. This does include your first and your second order, which is a key point. You might find people that tell you it's half of this cost, or nowhere near this cost, but usually what they're trying to do is they're trying to exaggerate how easy it is to get started on Amazon, because they're trying to sell you a course. And yeah, just be careful who you trust and who you listen to. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Put your comments down below on anything that you'd like to see next. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.